We are going to get started. Don, I'm going to turn it over to you. Don, Mr. Walton has been training in jiu-jitsu for quite some time and also has taken it upon himself to pursue a career in MMA, traveling all the way out to California. The way I understand is you literally just threw your belongings in the back of a car and just started driving. Is that somewhat accurate?
I literally, my little Mazda 3, I threw everything I owned in the back of it. Discovered I have very little in my life, and then I just went.
That's the way to do it, man. I'll tell you, takes a lot of courage. So I'm not going to waste any time. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Walton, and it is all yours. I'm going to ask everybody to mute their mics at this time, and please post all your questions or comments in the chat section. We'll leave 10 minutes at the end of the program for you guys to ask any questions or have them review anything that you guys want to review or have them go over again. We good to go?
Yep.
All right, showtime. It's all yours, bud.
Hey guys, I'm Don Walton. I have 2 of my students here. I'm going to be beating up John mostly. So today I want to discuss a little mixture of striking and wrestling and then ground and pound. So I'm going to discuss how to set up a double leg takedown, where we call it a blast double. There's 2 different kinds of doubles, one where you cut an angle, one where you go straight forward. So we're going to discuss the art of how you actually punch someone when they're on the ground and control them as well. So we're going to set up our takedown using our strikes. So I have John here. We're both standing in a fight stand with each other. I need to get his hands up. If I'm shooting for a takedown, his hands are low, there's a chance that he can stuff my takedowns and create a problem for me. I need his hands to come up. However you want to set that up is up to you. Using a good firm jab works nicely. Anything I do is start to make him cover up, throw big head kicks, whatever it is. As his hands go up, I drop low. When I drop low, if you notice, my shoulder is going into his belly. My hands are hitting the back of his legs. I'm driving his upper body forward while I pull back on his knees. So all in all, this is what it looks like. I'm here, I'm throwing my strikes, he's covering up. And then I drop down. I come here, driving forward as I pull back. I put him right down. Make sense? That's all it is. Without him, I'm setting up my strikes. Boom, 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 boom. Whatever it is, get his hands up. I drop low. I'm not bending over. I'm here. I come in. I grab his knees, pull them in, shoulder drives, and I put him down. So watch me again. I'm here, making him put his hands up. However I do that, scaring him a little bit, making him focus on my strikes. When his hands start to come up, that's when I drop low, shoulder to the stomach. As that happens, I grab his knees, pulling them, and together now, and I end up in his guard. So everyone take a moment and give that a try. I'll be watching all of you to see. And if there's any questions, concerns, I'll tell you. Drop low and drive. Yes, exactly. Very nice. And grab his knees. So make sure not to bend over, because here you create a tabletop. So if you notice, I'm not here, because he can just sprawl down and create all this weight. I'm actually nice and upright as I do this. So I drive and pull, and I'm upright. I can either be standing above him or I come down into his guard as well. So both are fine. It depends on what's happening. But make sure you come down level. So you're doing a squat. I don't want to bend over as I drive. Plus also y'all want to, keep your backs in shape. So let me see it again. Good. Drop your level. Much better. Much, much better. All right, so I'm going to use my lovely camera woman to help me. So we hit the ground. Go ahead, lay down. When I'm here, I'm in his closed guard. I'm going to be throwing strikes down, and he's probably going to be covering up. I can also drop to the body. The issue is he's going to be wanting to pull me down and control my posture. I want to be keeping my posture, so I always have one hand posted no further than his solar plex. If I go high, I risk being arm barred. I risk my posture being broken. This is very bad. So I'm usually posted at least one hand. When he starts to cover up, there's a way that we can peel this away. So watch, I'm throwing my strikes, he's covering. As I come down, I'm going to take one hand away. I'm not just going to grab, I'm physically hitting him, and then I grab and I pin it to his hip. Now there's one arm versus one arm. He starts covering up that side. I pin this to the other hip, and if you notice, his arms are crossed over each other. Now he might wiggle these out, but in the meantime of him wiggling it out, I'm landing a handful of strikes. As he wiggles that arm out, I just go, okay, let me bring that back. Boom, 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 boom. And even dropping elbows down. Just be wary that when you do this, we don't want to be too far forward because there's a chance of him controlling your posture. And if that makes sense, great. But remember, when his hands, especially are up, I'm posted somewhere. Because if I'm just here, pull me down. You can see how there's a problem. Here, when I'm posted, pull me down. Makes it a little more difficult. And when I do have the hands posted here, this acts as a post, making it easier for me to smash him because I have my posture controlled and his head's unprotected now. So let's see everyone give that a try, and then we're going to discuss a little bit further. Peeling the hand away. Pin it to his hip. Yes, exactly. And then you pin it over top. He's going to probably wiggle it out at some point, but by the time he wiggles his arm out, you've already hit him 3, 4, 5 times maybe. This was something that Mark Munoz specifically was very well known for his ground and pound. Exactly, pinning it to the hip. And you might have to peel it a few times. As you peel, the moment you peel, you can throw a strike at the same exact time because you're taking away his guard, if that makes sense. So here you're throwing the strikes to the head. You don't just want to grab, you're going to actually hit it. So you hit that hand and peel it down. Try and bring it as low to his hip as possible as you do that. Exactly. Boom, boom. And you might not be able to keep it pinned for a very long time. You just need it long enough to sneak in a few shots as you do that. Exactly. Dropping hammer fists, straight punches, hooks, elbows dropping down. Just be wary with the elbows because there's a chance that your posture might get a little too close. So you just are always looking to be like, hey, let me sit myself back a little more as well. Excellent. So just so that way you guys know, one little thing, I'm going to have mount on you. This exact same process happens if I'm also in the mount where I can peel and start taking this away as well. So just know that a lot of times with ground and pound, a lot of it is about taking those hands away and finding ways to tie up his arms to be able to hurt him. But now I'm going to flip it, especially for those of you guys that don't have much of a ground game, to if I'm the one that got taken down. So I'm here. I want to be able to control his posture. He's most likely going to be having at least one hand posted on me. So if I try and pull him down right now, right, this post causes a bit of an issue because I can't bring him to me. Watch my hips. I'm going to take my hips and move them off center ever so slightly. When my hips are off center, I can pull him down now. If my hips are centered with his hips, it's not happening. But when I move one of my hips out of the way, now I can control his posture. You need space to be able to generate force for a punch. When I have him super close to me, he doesn't have that ability anymore. So here, he's posted on me now. I'm going to move one of my hips out of the way, and I'm going to grab either here or here, but we want to control one arm. I bring him down, and I'm grabbing the back of his head. Now I can open my guard. I don't want to open it too soon, because if I open it, there's a chance that he stands up and starts really causing an issue, raining down shots on me, causing a problem. So I need to control his posture first. Hips off to the side again, ever so slightly. Now I can pull him down. I'm trapping his arm while I'm controlling his head. Now I can open my guard up. I'm going to take my foot that's on the side where I'm grabbing the head. I post it. I'm going to shrimp out. I create what's called a knee shield. So my knee now is in the way. He can't punch me right now because this arm's being blocked and this arm's being grabbed. And I have his posture. All I'm going to do from here is I pull him to me. I'm going to kick this leg and kick this leg. You notice this leg is on the ground now. And I'm on my side. I'm going to go for what's called a scissor sweep. All I do is I kick, and I end up in the mount now. And like I was talking about, peeling these hands constantly. And if you notice when I peel, I'm peeling and punching at the same time. I don't peel, try and pin it, and then go, okay, now I peel and hit at the same time. So, one more time discussing the scissor sweep, okay? We're here. Remember, I don't just pull him straight down because my hips are square. I move my hips off to the side. Controlling one hand, I'm going to pull him down. I grab the back of his head. I open my guard. I post and I shrimp to the side of the head that I'm controlling. Knee shield to protect me. Leg goes to the mat. I'm going to pull him to me and kick. I come up and now I have my mount, which is very nice for a ground and pound scenario, or for those of you that are not comfortable on the ground, I just go, let me get out of here. All right. Let me watch everyone demonstrate that. If you look confused, don't worry. I will be scrolling through looking at you guys. So one person's on the ground. Good. One other person's inside their guard. So remember, moving your hips off center first, grab the arm and grab the back of his head. Good. Now post your foot on the mat and shrimp out. Good. Put your knee in front of him as a knee shield and pull him to you and kick him over. Very nice. And don't forget to come. Yes. And then from there, you can ground and pound him like crazy. I recommend peeling. It really is the most effective method for taking his guard away and his protection away. Beautiful. Good. Keep practicing that sweep. Good. Remember, you got to control his posture first. So bring him to you. Otherwise, there's a chance that there's going to be a problem. So you just got to control one arm and then pull him down using your legs. So close your legs and pull him to you. Yes, now grab the back of the head. If you notice now, when you trap him, he no longer has the ability to hit you. Now you can open your guard because you've controlled his posture. Now you post on the mat and you shrimp out. What shrimping means, you just scoot your butt out to the side. So scoot your butt, not that way, scoot it the opposite way of the way you're going. Yes, now slide that knee in front of the two of you. You might have to make a little bit of space for that knee. Good. Post that other leg on the mat, pull him to you and kick him over. Very nice. Good. Excellent. And now from there, you got your ground and pound position. Or if you're not comfortable on the ground, you just get up and go. You just say, you know what? Not for me. I swept you and I'm going to get out, especially for those of you that may not be super comfortable with your ground game yet. That's perfectly fine. So now that we've got part of that covered, I want to discuss a little more about being on your back because there's several different scenarios. There's one other thing that happens. They either come forward a lot or they might be leaning back. So we're going to go over what's called a sit-up sweep. And this is excellent for a good ab workout too. So don't worry, we'll get a nice workout out of this too. So we're here. Sometimes what happens is, as I try and pull him down, he's sitting back more. He's not allowing me, even though there could be no arms involved at all. But if I try and pull it down, he leans back a lot. This tells me that his weight's going that way. So I'm going to do what's called a sit-up sweep. So what it is let's say I take my left arm. I want to fire my left arm to my right side. I'm going to do a sit-up. From here, I open my guard up. I'm going to thrust into him. I grab this arm and I bring him around. So this is where a sensitivity gets developed. If he's leaning forward a lot, that's where I can bring down his posture. And that's why I like going for scissor sweeps. Even knee shields, I use my knee shield to set up a lot of submissions. But if he's leaning back a lot and he's just looking to rain down those shots, I don't want to play that game. So instead, I'm going to go to him and you'll be able to feel it where if he leans back a lot. So all I'm going to do is I do a sit-up. So all I'm doing is I'm using my legs to help me do a sit-up. But as I sit up, I'm going to have one arm fire past him. The other arm's going to be posted behind me. The mistake a lot of people make is they try and lift themselves using their arm. But if you notice, it takes quite some time and he starts to see me coming and he'll crush me. So instead, as he's leaning back, I decide, okay, I sit up. This arm just simply swings behind me as a post. It's not helping me get up, it's helping me stay up. This other arm fires up. First things first, I need to go this way. Not this way. Yeah, I'm going to go this way. So look to my hips. I'm going to thrust into him. And as he's off balance, I grab this arm and I take him over. And again, we're in our mount position that I like, because it's really fun to be able to sit on top of someone and just absolutely rain down shots. So one more time. We're here. He's leaning back a lot. This tells me that he's not coming forward. If I try and pull him forward, he keeps his weight back. Not happening. So I do a sit-up, and I come up. I'm going to thrust my hips forward first to knock him off balance. See how his weight comes off his knees? From here, grab the arm. If you don't grab the arm, there's a chance of him posting and stopping this. So I'm going to bring that arm to me. And now I have my ground and pound. If you don't have a partner, one really simple thing you can do just to work on this is sitting up, alternating. But if you notice, my arms are not helping me up. I'm just doing a sit-up. I'm firing my arm across the whole time. After I come up, thrust my hips and turn. So again, come up, thrust my hips and turn. Let's give it a shot, guys. So it is. He's leaning back a lot. Good. So now all you do is just sit up. Good. Yes. Now open your legs up. Post your feet on the mat. Thrust. Good. Now grab his arm and turn that direction. Very nice. And now if you notice, we got that beautiful mount that we love. Excellent. Very good. Give that a few more tries. Excellent. Everyone put in some repetitions. Good. So here you're doing a sit-up, and use your arm to help you up a little bit if need be. But post your feet on the mat when you sit up as well. It'll make a difference. Good. Post your feet on the mat. So you can unlock your legs now. So what's happening is you're getting stuck by yourself. So open your feet up. If you leave your legs wrapped around him, sometimes it traps you. So open your feet up and post them on the mat to help you up. Your lower back. Got you. Yep. Understood, sir. So there's one other part of this that I need to talk about. That's if they're staying perfect. If they're staying perfect, where they're not quite coming towards you and they're staying not so far back, but they're staying in the middle, that's where we go over something very specific called a tech stand-up or a tech mount. So we're here. He's staying perfect. He's not quite letting me pull him, but he's also not leaning back. So here, all I'm going to do now is I open up my legs again. I'm going to create a frame. I need to choose a side. I create my knee shield like before. Well, look, now I can turn and face him, and I have feet on the hips, and I'm here. More than likely, he's going to stand up at this point when this happens. So from here, if you notice, I have opportunities. If he's bent over like he is, I can throw kicks up to his head. I can throw him to his stomach, to his knees, to the groin, all kinds of things. In MMA, a lot of times the guys posture straight up to avoid this situation. It works for me and against me depending on what's happening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scoot out. I have one hand behind me, one hand out. I'm protecting my face. All I'm going to do for you now, if he advances, I lift up in what's called a tech stand-up. So if my right hand's on the ground, that means my left foot's going to be on the ground too, and I elevate. You see there's nothing under me. I'm going to be throwing specifically, I like throwing them at the knee, the hip, or even underneath here to just stop him in his tracks. I'm not so much looking to do damage as I'm looking to kind of be like, hey, stay right there for a second, would you? So I'm here. If you guys are good at capoeira, you can come up, all kinds of cool stuff. The biggest thing is I'm creating distance to come up back to my stance. So again, I'm staying perfect. He's not coming forward. He's not going back. He's doing a good job of keeping his base. This tells me that he's not committing a lot to his ground and pound. And if he's leaning back, it also tells me that he's well aware that I could sit up sweep him. So from here, I choose a side. I need to get off to one side, whether I'm here or here. Doesn't matter. I create a knee shield. Both my feet get in the way. Now I'm here. In a jiu-jitsu scenario, in terms of strictly grappling, they'll probably try and pass your guard. But there's a danger because in MMA, I can start throwing kicks. In a fight, there's kicks to be involved. I can turn over. So he's probably going to stand up. If he's bent over, there's still a chance. But when he's standing up straight, a lot of times they try and come in, but they keep their heads really high up to not let me get to them. So from here, I'm probably going to kick him back a little bit. Remember, opposite side hand, opposite side foot. So if it's right hand, left foot. If it's this way, left hand, right foot. I'm here, I'm going to elevate. Hand out or hand here to protect yourself. I prefer hand out just because I can usually see something coming and stop it. Here, there's a chance of an impact, even though you may be able to block it. Out here, it's more likely for you to catch it. I'm extending my leg, whether it's to the knee, the body, or even to the shin or the hip. What I'm doing is I'm keeping him at bay. And I'm coming up into my fight stance. So you see how this leg comes straight back. I'm still keeping my arm out to monitor. This hand comes up, and I usually take a big step back just to create a lot of space. So guys, all this looks like is called a tech stand-up. I'm here. So I was on my butt. I get to a hip. Arm extended, one leg out. I'm on my hip, one leg up. Kicking, coming back. Now, a lot of the times, once when I come up, I'll step my leg back to create a lot of distance. Usually I'm very tired after getting ground and pounded a little bit. So everyone give that a shot. So he's staying perfect. Good. Create a little bit of a knee shield. Yes, put both feet in the hips first. Good, create room. Good, if he falls over, awesome. More than likely, they start to stand up because they realize the danger. And if he bends over a bit, just throw that kick up top. Now, create some room, get on your hip. You want to pop up on one arm. So if your left arm is on the ground, then that means that your right foot should be on the ground. Yes, exactly. Very nice. There's still a risk, mind you, as you come up, that they'll throw something crazy up top at you. But in fighting, there's always a risk of all kinds. So just be ready. And this is one of those ones you got to be quick to be like, I'm going to get up now. So good. Now, exactly. Now, I like to throw that left leg that you have on the ground. I like to kick something as I come up. Yes, exactly. Just as a little way of saying, hey, man, you might want to stay right there. Exactly. Very nice. Very nice, guys. Excellent. So I think we're at the 25-minute mark, are we not?
About 1 minute, and then it'll be 25. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I give you a little bit extra because I rolled over into your time. But if you want, I can cut it here if you want.
Yeah, that's about what I was planning on teaching today. I can go deeper into detail, but then we're going to run over. You know?
That works perfect. So if you want, we can have everybody come back on and unmute the
yes, please. If anyone has any questions, I'm here now. That was a very basic but very run through lesson, if that makes sense. So
the only thing I say is while we're asking questions, if you just kind of be mindful of other people, and if you don't mind, I'd like to start out because it's interesting to me because I don't have the experience that you have by any stretch of the means when it comes to jiu-jitsu and stuff. But I spent 20 years working in let's just say a less than ideal environment, working with criminals and prison environment. And so we were on the ground, I mean, every day. I mean, and when we had to, we obviously it's not ideal for us. And I'm sure you've heard us before, but especially in that environment, it's not ideal. It's not where we wanted to be as far as being on the ground. But we more often than not, we were there. We were down on the ground. So my life experience or my career choice has kind of taught me that I need to get up, right? More so because I'm not in a ring or in a tournament per se. and it was really about, quite frankly, survival. So my question is, though, is that when you got up, when you were trying to get up, you kind of started to answer it, and I caught on to it. You were kicking with the bottom leg.
The leg that is not posted on the ground, yes.
Right. And I posted a comment in the question section about what were the disadvantages or advantages, because for me personally, like right now, I don't know, because I'm in healing mode and I just had both my knees replaced. I don't know that I would be able to do what you just did. So in the past, we would typically use the top leg to kick, right? And then get up or move out. So do you have like,
so it depends.
There's times, what are the advantages and disadvantages to using the bottom leg versus the top leg? And are there times that you would actually use the top leg to kind of help facilitate that?
I'm here still on my side kicking, but what I need a foot to be posted to help me up.
Right.
Unless you're able to do a handstand, you need a foot to be on the ground to help you up. I might switch it and come around this way, but the most effective way is to have opposite side hand, opposite side foot posted to help elevate you. Meanwhile, I still have this out protecting me. You can even throw a front kick. I throw it more sideways only because it covers more of a surface area as I go. But
right.
The goal is so much to do damage. I'm looking to be like, hey, stay right there. And when they try and move forward, when you have something kind of posted stopping you. So that's most of the reason why I'll throw it low as well to help me. I'm just looking, even if they try to come forward, if you put something in the way of their shin even,
right.
It's not looking to do damage, but I'm saying like, hey, stay right there. And it's quick. It's a quick motion of I'm coming up. And I'm also I'm using this leg to push straight back to help me back up.
Right. And then, sorry, I just realized I didn't have my video on. I apologize. And then the other thing too that I noticed too is I thought was really, really spot on is, and again, this is just from my, I guess you could say experience or inexperience, however you want to look at it. But I really like the fact that you mentioned targeting the joint, because it's an easier target to hit in most cases. And it just causes a tremendous amount of damage. So I appreciate that. Thank you for pointing that out, because that was the thing. Like I'm still in healing mode, so my mobility kind of sucks right now. But
and
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Before where guys stand over me and they won't I'm trying to create breathing room to get back up.
Right.
Sometimes I do that and I'll be stuck here, and as long as I'm kicking and keeping them away.
Right.
Even if sometimes I won't get an opportunity to even do this.
Right.
As long as I'm kicking and keeping them at bay, again, as you said, at the end of the day, your job is survival.
Right.
As long as they're not touching me here or attacking anything vital.
Yeah.
What matters. Now, at some point, you might end up in more of a wrestling scenario where you might have a chance to shoot for a double. But when you are flat on your back, I'm talking worst case scenario. Even in fighting, I've had moments where I'm just like, man, this guy's not giving me the breathing room I need to just create space, especially if you get stuck on a cage. Right. And so that's what I'm at least staying on my back, kicking and creating distance to find a way to get back up.
Yeah. Don, I appreciate that. I'm going to turn this over to the other members of the audience, but I want to say thank you, because that was really, really very well explained. You did a really nice job of presenting all your material, man. That really was incredible. Thank you. So anybody else have any questions?
Can I enjoy this. Okay, can you hear me well?
Yep, I can hear you, brother.
Okay, first of all, and one more time, a pleasure and an honor to be talking with you. I saw a couple of fights in YouTube from you in 2015, 2014.
Oh God!
Around that time.
When I was young.
And I saw you're mostly trying to get the opponent to the floor. So you prefer to get the grappling.
So when you're talking about my earlier fights, so I came from a wrestling background primarily. When I first started fighting, I knew striking. I wasn't like a proficient striker. And so when I first started fighting, I was like, listen, I know I'm a strong wrestler. I'm going to use that. As times went on now, I do really like standing up as well. I like doing as long as I get to abuse you, I don't care where it's at. Like, that's
perfect clear. And from that angle, I saw you also have videos with Kyokushin karate.
Yes, sir.
So you try to enforce your strike method coupled with the grappling method, right?
Oh, yeah. like I was talking about at the beginning, you saw I use my striking. If I want to take you down, I'll especially even a good jab. If I'm just snapping a good jab at you and they start, I make them think about that. And when they think about my striking, then I go, okay, now that your mind's here, let me drop under and take you down.
Perfectly. That's my point. As a Kempoist, like most of us are here, we always say something like our mother art is in a standard position. And if we can improve our art, we can go to the grappling, to jiu-jitsu, to whatever. Do you feel you do the same, saying you're using your mother art in the ground, but you can improve from other martial arts in the standard position?
Completely. I find wrestling is the in-between. Jiu-jitsu is when you're on the ground, and I find that my Kyokushin or my Muay Thai, which are my two main striking arts, is, but the wrestling put them together. And so I learned wrestling first, and then I learned jiu-jitsu and Kyokushin after.
You're in the middle.
Yeah, I started with the middle point. I didn't know anything else to help connect it.
Okay, and I have two questions more because I
of course.
The notes. Also, another technique issue. You show now different escape from the mounted position in the guard position. But do you have a preference?
Which do I prefer, being in their guard or mounted?
What you prefer, or if one of those is better?
If I'm in their guard, the thing is that I still have legs in between me and them, where the legs can still be used against me. If I'm in the mount, I prefer the mount because there's less things in front of me, so I can really control them. And the legs that are wrapped around me when I'm in the guard are still a danger to me that I have to think about. When I'm in the mount, of course, there's still things I need to think about, but there's less danger that I have to think about.
Okay. And the last one that I remember now, and this is in general in terms of the times we are living now, and in your Instagram, and you put something like therapist says, and what do we do when we're stressed? Is it me, go to jiu-jitsu, struggle the entire time, and her crying on the way home? Therapist, no. So, do you use the jiu-jitsu or the grappling or the MMA for these times to go to dojo and actually?
Yeah, my therapy. It saved my life, honestly. It saved me from what I could have become, and I'm very happy that it saved me. This room, I literally live in it. I've actually slept in here before, so yes, it's.
Thanks. Yeah, by the way, really good place, really good look.
Thank you.
Thanks for answering my question.
Of course.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. I was going to ask what your stand-up game was, whether you were more of a boxing background or whether you did Muay Thai. Obviously, you answered that saying that it was Muay Thai mainly.
I would love more than to show some Muay Thai stuff for you guys too at some point.
It's great. I've had a little bit of experience with some Muay Thai stuff in the past, just going to different seminars and stuff. It's really efficient. It's an absolute great art. I think the thing is when people become committed to certain arts, sometimes they kind of are like, oh, mine's better than that one. But
hate that.
Everybody.
I know guys who, there's this, I won't mention names, but I know a guy where he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. When he was at his prime as a fighter, he would fight, whether he was standing, going, and then when he started losing a lot, it's because he said, I just want to use jiu-jitsu to just prove that's the best. I'm like, but it's not a jiu-jitsu, it's a fight, and for me, like, I don't care where the fight goes. If you want to keep it standing, we can do that. If you want to go to the ground, that's fine. I kind of figure out what is your weakness more than, if I find you're better at jiu-jitsu than me, I'll be like, all right, let's keep it standing. And it depends. It's where I use my wrestling to kind of decide, do I want to go down? Do I want to use it defensively to stay up? And I do find there are jiu-jitsu guys that I've heard guys say kicks don't work. And I'm like, yeah, all the head kicks I've won with, okay, yeah, that didn't work. But, and I find there's also old school martial artists who try and argue with me about grappling stuff. And I go, dude, neither of them is superior, but if I take you down, you don't know anything. But also if you kick me before I can take you down, then fine, you win. But I think especially at the early days of the UFC, when they first started, there was arguments about which was better. And yeah, a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys were winning early on. But if you notice now, the people who win are the MMA fighters, the guys who are well-rounded. Everybody at the top level in the UFC all know how to wrestle. They all know jiu-jitsu and they all know striking, and they're very balanced on everything.
Right. Anybody else got any questions, comments? You mentioned something I thought was very profound, and that is that you tend to play to your strengths, right? And I remember my instructor saying that all the time, like if we're about equal in jiu-jitsu, then that's probably not where I want to go. I want to go to my strengths and fight and try to figure out what his weaknesses are, and that's where you got to look for it, which obviously is easier said than done.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think no matter where you go on this planet, you're always going to have the naysayers, and there's people just stuck in their way. So you just keep moving forward. But Donald, thank you very much for doing this, and we'd love to have you back on the program anytime. Let's give him a hand, guys, and say thank you to him. And before I forget, Don, real quick, if you don't mind, would you like to just once again just kind of state your name again, and how do we get in touch with you? What's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to reach out to you and get more lessons via Zoom or set up a seminar with you or anything like that?
Yeah, no. Well, first off, apparently Nelson knows how to find me. So
yeah.
That shocked me when you started mentioning my Instagram. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
My social security number too, man.
Yeah.
Again, Donald Walton. I was the former #1 ranked lightweight amateur fighter in New York State about 5 years ago. I reached a point where it was a mixture of I was genuinely bored because I went through my entire division, but also I kind of wanted to travel and learn under higher level martial artists. So I went to King's MMA in California to Rafael Cordero. For those who don't know who that is, he's probably, in terms of the best striking coach in the UFC, in my opinion. And he was worked with guys like Rafael Dosan, Fabricio Verdum, Vanderlei Silva, Anderson Silva. He cornered Mike Tyson for his fight against Roy Jones Jr., even though we won't mention that. And then just on and on about all the legends that he's worked with. So I traveled for a year. I wanted to decide where I wanted to live and learn. And California, I went there and I go, yo, this is a really cool place. And of course, I picked one of the most expensive places in the U.S. But I'm a wrestler by trade. I started off, my first striking art was Kyokushin karate. I learned Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well. I'm a brown belt right now. I'm very close to black, even though I don't want to get a black belt anytime soon because it's too much pressure on me. You expect way too much out of me then. I'm black belt in Kyokushin karate. I have a Muay Thai background, training under Rafael Cordero for so long, kickboxing and boxing as well under local trainers here. And I just love to fight more than anything else. My Facebook is Donald Walton. It's just Donald Walton, WALTON. My Instagram is Don_the_soldiers_son. Also check out, I just made it. It's our new Muay Thai page. It's Saratoga Muay Thai. There's an underscore in between each one of those because I just love underscores. Apparently I have a problem. You can also look us up on Alliance NEBJJ, either on Instagram or on Facebook. Also Saratoga Kyokushin, you can also look us up there. And then if you want, feel free to direct message me, guys, on Facebook or Instagram. I'm very responsive. If I don't get back to you, I'm most likely training. So
yeah. Thank you very much, Don. I really, really do appreciate that, man. That's really awesome, man. Definitely gonna have you out, man. Give him a hand, guys, one more time.
Much appreciated.
All right. Thank you, Don. We'll see you soon.